Only I tried finding yourself. I want to change my way. It has to be this way. I live my life for myself. Forget your filthy ways. Blame and lies. Contradictions arise. Blame and lies. Contradictions arise.
Any group who wants to convince a large amount of the population that it's okay to be not okay, they also want to make being okay disrespectful, and they want it to make being okay unlawful, and they want to make it a crime. Get it? They don't tell you that outright. Well, not all of them, but some of them are doing it outright, right in front of your face. Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. I'm gonna do a video that's kind of similar to one I did a long time before, but I'm gonna do a better version of it right now. This kind of stuff that I covered. I cannot stress this enough. If you convince too much of the population that it's okay to not be okay, then what happens is being okay will become a crime. It'll become, it'll make you into, being okay will make you into an insensitive person, a monster, a militant, a terrorist, just an outright awful, insensitive person. And when they, so therefore, even though they use this statement, don't get me wrong, some people mean well, what most of them really want is everybody to perpetually be not okay, and they want to make being okay a bad thing, and not a good thing. I want to tell you how that bullshit that people are shoving down our throats now and putting all over the place, saying it's okay to not be okay. I'm going to tell you how, in some cases, there's nothing wrong with it. If somebody, it's the message, some people I'm sure mean well, that if there's people out there that need some kind of help, fine, go get it, rather than commit a crime or do anything stupid to themselves or somebody else. I get it. If that's what they mean, I get it. But I'm going to tell you about how it actually, for the convenience of a lot of people, it's actually worth another type of reverse psychology and virtue signaling. Like I said, don't get me wrong. If some people should get help rather than commit a crime, being a danger to somebody else or themselves, you know, of course. But it's also a reverse psychology, and it to try to create a fear or peer pressure, you know, because some things generate the opposite of intent, and want to create a peer pressure, if you will, for people to, a peer pressure to not be okay, and then to try to get people to think in their heads, feel bad or feel left out for being okay. And I'm gonna tell you how it can lead to, if you walk around with a smirk on your face, like being okay, actually being proud of being okay, that they'll think you're not okay, and it'll go hand in hand, see, to another saying called, if you see something, say something. I mean, and lead to, if you're too okay, walk around with a smirk on your face, and you're not conformed to this bullshit, and if you don't have any issues, if you don't have anxieties or depressions, You might be a terrorist or something. Oh, if you see something, say something. They want to create an environment, okay, that not hating on anybody that it ain't okay, but you don't want to alienate them or anything like that. Um, but some of them, turning into sheep. These people that are taught, okay, it's okay to not be okay. These people are being taught, in so many words, to be afraid of people and to hate people who are okay and who are proud of being okay. And for example, if you openly are being proud of okay, but you may admit in some cases that you might not be okay, but it's only temporary. Oh, people don't want to hear that shit either. They want to discourage you and me from saying shit like that too, because it hurts people's feelings or makes people uncomfortable. And for saying that you're okay for the most part, and you're okay and happy about it, because of virtue signaling, you're like some kind of monster, and you might. The goal is to try to make you feel isolated for being okay. So what they're creating is a thing where they want. It's the new thing now. It's fashionable and it's a virtue signal to. That's what everybody. That's what everybody's doing now. They're not being okay, and if you're, say, when you're having a little bit of problems, which is life, you find your way out of it. Well, most of us, I can give you a bunch of examples without telling my whole life story, right? And I'm sure you guys do. For example, a concept that I try to tell people. For example, something's a pain in your ass somehow, or you're temporarily in some kind of trouble. Something that's a pain in your ass, it can get you a little temporarily down, or whether you swear at something. That's what they call it's life. It's just fucking life. And if you're seeing well, you get back up and you get have a smirk on your face and say, "Ha, I persevered, I got over." Especially if you're a person who is aware that something or someone may have caused the temporary not okayness. Because, when we suspect that, and you don't want to say that because they're trying to say you're paranoid and you need help. But, some of the things you don't tell people right away that somebody or something else is behind it, or just simple misfortunes of life, and you get right back up. The people who notice this, when they start getting too jealous or mad and have something to say, may want to look out for some of them, you know what I mean? Some people that ain't necessarily your enemies or your friends either, when they start dropping hints to you, to try to make you feel stupid. I'm not going to go on and on about the list of a bunch of things. It dovetails into a lot of other things that I talk about, why it's big business to not be okay. We're not going to go on, and I do separate videos about why it's big business. It's such a big business to give people everything from antidepressant drugs to Adderall or stuff, to a point where I talked about that it's such a big business that there's actually a shortage of it. I say, you know what? That's not normal. Something's freaking wrong. From the day, like I said, preached before, from the day you're born and in school, they want you to be educated, repeat what you told, but they don't want you to be too smart, so they always want you to be. They want to cause anxiety. They don't really want you to be educated or the people that always are say from the day you're born, you have to go to school and you got to be educated, but they also tell you don't get smart. Indicate some kind of punishment or consequences if you get smart. They want you to be indoctrinated, not really educated, and repeat what you're told, right? But yet they want that for control, not for your benefit, right? And repeat what you're told and not get smart. You want to be always scared and worried that you're going to piss somebody off. and get kicked out of that crowd or whatever. I mean, it's inside the churches, depending on what kind of churches you go into. You know what I mean? Like the ones that are very big on telling you to go on a fast and be afraid of that every little thing you physically and mentally do is evil. You know, as opposed to the athletic Christian that gets accused of being a far right extremist. You got the other. Oh, it's part of why I say that the far right and the far left are dangerous. Like you've got the better side of the church people that will be called a far right extremist, even if you're not one of those at a high level. You'll be called that by somebody if you're too proud of yourself and physically strong. You got the other side. People have a tendency to group church and religion as far right, but then you have that other side of the church, the non-athletic Christian, who wants you to go on a fast and always be scared of demons and scared of everything you say isn't biblical. Strength or anything that looks remotely like yoga is evil or whatever the hell. But then you got the far left that don't want you to be smart and strong either, and hate the police, but yet the OG and Mr. King of the Streets and his pals that sells the drugs, yeah, that's the police, that's the alpha. They're your authority. Hate the police, but they're your authority, and if you get beat up and any brutality against you inflicted by them, oh, you brought that on yourself. It's only wrong when the police do it. But then the far right, if you can be a person who goes to church and a part of the far right, you know, that asshole supervisor out there that you can be as far right as whatever, but that asshole supervisor to create a smokescreen for himself, will you lip off to him some kind of way or express an opinion that has nothing to do with the job, all of a sudden you're a far right extremist in his eyes. So people don't like you saying that shit. It's about keeping you in fear, and whether it's the street drugs or the antidepressant and different kind of drugs, and you'll have the people, when you have an opinion, also talking in parentheses when they say take your meds, you know what that means. You have too much of an opinion, and then you're too snarky with an opinion, and you're disobedient. You better take your meds, as if they can call somebody on you or report you to somebody who will enforce that, which that dovetails into the many cultures too. It's the people that say it's okay to not be okay will also be the ones to believe in the thing that if you see something, say something. So if you're too okay, it's okay to be okay will turn into if you see something, say something. He's too okay. He's not on our bandwagon, and he's not a part of what we believe is the common good. He's too okay. He's walking around with a smirk on his face or whatever. Or if you do, I don't really smoke or do any kind of drugs, you know. But for example, if you're watching this and you smoke, if you walk around too cocky with that cigarette instead of going with a cigarette like this, like some depressed person like these, especially these women, like this with a cigarette, like all down and poor me. You know, the poor me. Some of our people we knew, you know, could be. You could probably refer to have a picture in your head of maybe your buddy or ex-co-worker's ex-wife, as opposed to this other person's wife walking around with a cigarette. You walk around too proud, maybe, with a cigarette, as opposed to the cigarette posture to, I'm all, and like, yeah, they always, they claim that it's okay to be, not be okay. They'll always use the it's okay to not be okay thing, like it's something benevolent, like it's for a common good, and some of it is, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not, but for the most part, it's the opposite of intent. it's a virtue signal. It's a thing where, like it says, you're monkey see, monkey do. You're compelled to not be okay to fit in, and if too much of the population is, like that, then all of a sudden people are going to start. Don't look out! They might start bitching about you, and you never know. If you're too okay, you might be the one that gets 302. Don't reopen the jails. The jails or insane asylums to put you in. You know what I mean? For being too okay. You know what I mean? Reverse psychology. I might be getting a little too crazy with that. Maybe, maybe not. But I'm just saying, even if you think that statement is a little too crazy, trust me, believe me when I tell you, even if you think that statement I said is too crazy, there are people who would like that to come true, because the ones that are giving you dirty look, the ones that are in the crowd, it's okay to not be okay, and they want to never be okay perpetually. They want to perpetually be not okay, and if you ain't with that, or if you're temporary in that position, everybody is like jealous and pointing their fingers, and they're going to go and tell on you or report you to somebody, get some people to belittle you, or try to do that, use those shaming tactics, or use the group shaming tactics, or whatever the hell, try to socially isolate you, turn you into a monster. That's what it really is about. They don't do that shit out of the goodness of their hearts because they care about anybody that's not okay. It's all just to have them perpetually. They want people to be not against therapy if people need it, or even go into the preacher. I just remember and popped into my head an old song by Donnie Iris. You know what I mean? You can't rely on. And he's going down the list. Whoa, you can't rely on this. And, I'm saying, you guys know the song. It's a Donnie Iris song. I'm thinking about my own version of it, and I'm laughing about it. But yeah, they want you to be forever in therapy and forever taking these medicines and everything else for shit that they don't want you to. Yeah, you're a monster or a criminal or a terrorist if you ever want to reject shit and just maybe you want to be as okay as can be just to be a smart ass. You know what I mean? And to end this video, I seen a thing on social media. I gotta find it again. It's a statement. Anytime it's profitable or big business for people to have something negative, something ballpark, I forget what it is, if it's when it's profitable, being finding a way to overcome becomes an act of rebellion. There's something along that line. There were so many statements put on social media, those little fun little virtues that a lot of people get mad at. Then some people find inspirational too, you know what I mean? But what I'm going to stress to you, it's about reverse psychology, you know what I mean? Being too okay hurts people's feelings. They want everybody to be insecure because then you're needy, and then you're anybody who then it creates a mob of people who are not okay, that are scared of everything, and then when they're threatened by somebody who actually is proud of being okay, then they can cry for the go and be all scared or offended and cry for the protection of the government or whoever else is providing them their escape drugs or their escape therapies or whatever the fuck you want to call them. You know what I mean, too. When you think about it, it's all created by the people. It's big business. I mean, there has to. I have said this in videos before, it's so many people are studying to be these so-called therapists of different, there's specialists in that of all kinds now. They're making up on new names for them. They go to school for all this shit, and then they have to find a way to make a living for it and pay off their student debts. So they have to justify why they have a job. So they got to induce the bullshit to people to have people buying their bullshit so that they don't end up working a shit job for a living. You know, they want people nice and dependent and everything else, you know. That's really the name of the game. You know, ain't nobody gonna tell me different. And so that's why I say it's okay to be okay. And if you're not okay occasionally, rest assured it's only temporary. Don't ever let anybody tell you different. And if anybody you find is maybe that so-called friends of yours or any kind of people or even your own family members around you, if they seem to be there to keep you in line and keep you into that, they don't want it. You notice a lot of people, you know, you can name it family members, you should be able to see right off the bat if they're encouraging the not okayness and trying to discourage you from ever being okay. And then how come some of the people that ain't okay get mad when you try to find, when you're actually trying to help them and you try to give them little suggestions to try to see if they can, to try to if they could be more okay. I'm trying to say this without laughing. And they start getting mad and they shoot down everything you suggest. Then that's the behavior, right, of the people that are very comfortable in the not okayness, or the not okay status or position. Not okayness is not really a word. The people that are more comfortable in that, and they have a crowd, they surround themselves with people that want to be like that. Oh, they're going to defend that position of comfort and the provider of whatever drugs that they're given that they have to be perpetually on. They're going to attack you right away, tooth and nail. Even if you make a suggestion to them once and don't talk to them anymore, you might actually be, they'll tell all their friends, and you might actually be passive-aggressively harassed by a lot of them. Say the whole, I don't know, if you got a lot of your people in your school or your town that are that way, it depends on where you're at. I mean, there's a lot of very depressed towns, you know, I mean, being economically depressed is actually a part of it. You know, a lot of people want that. You know, they want to create that too. Yeah, but when I end this video right here, believe me when I tell you, if you were to get out of the status of being not okay, like, really quickly, when everybody else wants to wallow in it or whatever, yeah, people show their true colors when they hate you for it. But I don't know, I wasn't a huge fan of the band Alice in Chains, but I'm gonna end with that. There was a song that's very underrated in my opinion, where the song Man in a Box was played until you got damn sick of it. But there was a song that goes, I'll live tomorrow, I'll not follow, as you wallow in a sea of sorrow. But yeah, I'm sure, yeah, the lead singer had a lot of issues, you know what I mean? But that is still a good song, you know what I mean? But I kind of had it popped into my head right then and there. But yeah, that's enough for this right now.